Hey guys, it's Beth. So last week I did a little change of pace and tackled a 6x6 pad. Took a little break from my big All Seasons 3 12x12 pad and decided to do something different. And actually, there's a reason that I decided to use this one up. Every year I donate something to a humane society back near our hometown for their big summer charity event. They have an auction. And in the past, I've always done something like pet love related, a decor piece. And so this year I wanted to do something different, but I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. And then a few weeks ago, I was actually sifting through my pads stash looking for something for another project and ran across this little 6x6 that I got at Michael's last year after Christmas and thought, ooh, that would make some cute little Christmas cards that I could include for the auction. So it was a 6x6 pad from Michael's. Like I said, it's Recollections, and I got it after Christmas last year on clearance. I don't remember. I didn't write down what my price was, but if it was originally $6, I'm sure I paid like maybe $2 or $3 or somewhere in between there, because I know it was at least 50 to 60% off by the time I would have seen it or got it. So, because I don't normally buy 6x6 pads, but I thought it was cute and it was on clearance, so why not? So in this pad there were 24 sheets and 2 each of 12 designs, and when I was looking through it I realized that half of the pages were dog related and half were cat. So I thought, oh, well, I'll do 2 different sets. I'll do a set of dog cards and a set of cat cards, and then do some tags with the scraps and kind of make it a little bundle. And then of the 6 designs for each animal, there were 3 pages that were like truly just a pattern design. 1 page was cut aparts, 1 page was border strips, and then there was a page that had like a 6x6 layout type design on it, like something in opposite corners. I just cut those up and treated them like cut aparts. So I did utilize cardstock on here on all my cards. My mat on every card is cardstock. I used a little bit of light blue, just tiny bit of red, some mulberry, some sage, and then a dark green. So my mats are all cardstock, and then I just used a combination of pattern paper, border strips, and then cut aparts on all of my cards. And then just real quick, stamp sets that I did use, this Lawn Fawn tiny tag sayings. The cute little tag sayings. This Art Impressions Christmas dog set. It's called Santa Paws. The Scrapping for Less Pretty Kitty set. That's from, I got it in the, I think the August 2018 card kit. I had to pull it out because I knew there was one that had some cat stamps in it. And then I did use this stencil, paw print stencil from Scrapping for Less, also from that same kit. Tag die that was from a past Stamping for Less card kit. This diagonal stripe embossing folder from Taylor Expressions, and then this Doris quilt type embossing folder. And then I did use sketches just to try and kind of make this process go a little faster. Some of the sketches I used on both the dog and card sets. So the first sketch is Reverse Confetti number 27. And I actually turned mine horizontal because that's the way my papers and border strip were going. And then because this was a square instead of a longer rectangle, I felt like it needed something else. So I did take some white vellum and then an old Marvy snowflake punch and did the vellum snowflakes behind it just to give it a little bit of extra but not take away from any of the pattern papers. And then this cute little cut apart says Dachshund Through the Snow. Too cute. I almost wish that I had another pad of this because these are really cute. I'd like the dog cards for myself. And then on the inside of each card I stamped Happy Holidays from that Santa Paws set. And then each card has scraps of pattern paper and then a scrap of cardstock included. And I did stamp on the sage green cardstock because I always practice stamp first before I'm stamping on something permanent like a card base. And I did. I stamped it several times. It was stamping great. And then I stamped one card and then the next card it messed up. So So I thought if I'm gonna have to put this on one card, I'm just gonna do it on all of them to be consistent. So that's why I have it on a separate cardstock. Next sketch is Mojo Monday, sketch number 490. And this one I used 2 cut aparts because this was a journal card and I was trying to kind of cover up the journal lines a little bit. But this one says Feliz Naughty Dog. I love all the little sayings. And I do get 2 of each card if you haven't figured that out yet. So this one is Freshly Made Sketches number 179. And this one, I love it, Bah Hum Pug. And I just put my sentiment here, kind of, it didn't call for an extra sentiment, but I did include it on this big kind of rectangle strip here. And then it felt like it needed something at the top, so just added a scrap of a border strip up there. And then I did do a cat version of this one as well. And this one says, wishing you a perfect Christmas. And then on this one, it was one of the last cards I did in the cat set, and I was out of like image cut aparts. And so since I already had a sentiment here, and so I just used that Scrapping for Less set and cut out a cat and then colored it with some Copics, just some basic coloring. And then I did punch a tree using an old Marvy Christmas tree punch out of the same paper. I had some extra of it. And then this is using that kind of quilt embossing folder. This next one, it says Where Creativity Meets, like CG, I think. And I was just trying to use up some of the border strips. And then this one down here, it says, we woof you a Merry Christmas. And it was just what was cut off of this one over here. And then I did a cat version. This one, these were wider strips, so I didn't feel like it needed anything down here. And then this is just a border strip and it says, wishing you a perfect Christmas. Just layered it on my little cat wreath. Freshly Made Sketches number 226. And this one says, Yappy Holidays. And I did get a cat version as well. And this one says, Meowie Christmas. My Favorite Things, sketch number 268. And this is where I pulled in some of that red, just because this pattern didn't have any of that mulberry in it, and I didn't want to use another one of my shades of green with this green background, so I just pulled out a little bit, some scraps of red. But this one says, Bark, the Hair Old Angels Sings. And then the cat version is, it just says, Let It Snow, and he's got a little snowflake on his head. And then Reverse Confetti number 25. And this one says Happy Holidays. And then the cat version says May your days be hairy and bright. Too cute. So this sketch didn't have a name. And this one says Feline Festive, and I love this cat. He's probably my favorite cat out of the whole thing just because he looks angry. He's just giving you that look. And then the last one is Mojo Monday, sketch number 378. And here again, I was using one of it was the journal cut apart, and so I just covered up the journal lines with this Wishing You a Perfect Christmas. And then I did get one other random card out of that design, and this was scraps from the dog patterns. I had a sheet of this, like a matte size sheet of this embossed sage green cardstock, and then stamped one of my little dogs from that Santa Paws Christmas set, kind of colored in with my colored pencils just to try and match the colors in the papers, and then fussy cut them out. Layered them on a dark green oval. And what I forgot to show you is on the sentiment on the inside for the cats is Meowie Christmas. I did not have any Christmas cat sentiment stamp, so this one I did print off from my silhouette and just printed it on that sage green to be consistent with the other set. All of my envelopes are stamped with this little paw print ornament that came from that dog stamp set. I figured it worked for cats and dogs. And then I also got 8 tags for each set. And because there's some of that gold foil in the pattern paper, I decided it's the only twine I have that had like some gold in it. So it's like kind of an off cream and gold twine. But on all my tags, I just used pattern paper scraps and then layered them up with any cut aparts I had left or scraps of any kind. And then as far as the tops, most of the time I just did the angle, like tag angle punch from my corner chomper. And then, or I did a scallop, or I used one of the tag die. So this one, and I got 2 of each tag as well, but this one says Furry Christmas. This one says Happy Holidays. We woof you a Merry Christmas. And then this is the tag die I used, and this one just says Love, Joy, and Wags. And then the cat ones also have the twine. And this one just had, it was a longer strip of pattern paper, so I just folded it in half and just treated it like a little card. And then this was a square that I fussy cut out around the gold foil, and it felt like it needed a little sentiment, so I just used that For You stamp from my little tag stamp set. Santa Paws, Meowie Christmas, and then this one with my favorite little angry cat and a little message that says a little something for you. You don't know if it's going to be a little something good or a little something bad based on his face. It's a surprise. And then I got some random tags, and some of these are from the pad cover, and then the rest are just from patterned paper. And I just kind of layered whatever scraps I could find. Like this one actually said Meowie Christmas, but the M was gone, so it was just Eowie was left. So I just cut it off, left Christmas, and then layered that up. Little something for you. I used that one several times. This one I punched some little partial circles out of some scraps that I have left. This one's a hodgepodge of lots of things, and it's from the pad cover. The tag itself is from the pad cover. Same with this one. This one I also did from the pad cover and just left it as is since it had all those border strips on there. And this one obviously came from right there, and just thought it was cute as is. I would have done this one too, but it had a tear in it. So this was where I used that stencil. And oddly enough, I have never used ink with a stencil before. I've always done paint with a stencil, and apparently didn't know the right type of pad to use. So this one was my learning one. I tried to use green, but it wasn't very juicy and it was really struggling. I even tried to use one of those sponge like pen type. It's got like a handle, almost like a paintbrush, but then it's got the sponge on the end, and it wasn't working. So I switched to a brown distressed ink, and it was so much better. So that's what this one ended up being. And then this one just tried to layer some strips to be a tree. And then this one was the very last one I did, and I had a bunch of these little thin strips left. Really wanted to use them up, so I just layered them at the bottom. So in total, I got 14 cards for each set, plus 8 tags for each set. So with everything, it ended up being 29 A2 size cards and 28 tags. So I thought that was pretty good from a 6x6 pad with 24 sheets in it. But this is what I have left for my scraps. And I realized I have a problem about scraps. I can't just let them go. So I was trying to punch out of the corners and was just really trying to use things up, and realized I can't just let the scraps go. So many of you are showing your videos now where you're using up your pads, and I'm so excited to watch those. You have your pile of scraps and you're able to say, you know what, I'm done, I'm good with this, and just get rid of them. I can't. I just, for some reason, can't. I just feel like I need to use them, and it's not that I feel like I need to use them for anyone else but me, and I enjoy trying to use them. I enjoy trying to find new ways, so I guess that's not really a problem. I just realized that I just can't, I'm not able to let it go like so many of you. But that's something else that I've learned, you know, from using up my paper pads. But I hope you guys enjoyed this new twist on one of my pad projects, something a little different. Any products I use that I can find links to, will include those in the description, as well as my card sketches. If you have any questions about anything, please let me know. If you're new here, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. I am all about trying to give you guys some ideas on how to use up your stash. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe. And for those of you that have come back to watch me, thanks for coming back. Thanks for supporting me and joining me on my journey to use it all up. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and thanks for your time today. I hope you have a crafty rest of your day.